Hi everyone, this is Jacqueline T.D. Huynh, and welcome to my day 29 of my Facebook Live challenge. So 2 more days, but I'm not going to stop here. I will continue with my Facebook Live. I've got some really good response from it. It just won't be in a daily. Hi Jerry, how are you? It just won't be in a daily practice, so it'll probably be more like 2 times a week. But I told you yesterday that I was going to go deeper for the last 3 days. I've given some great tips on certain behaviors and things like that to help your family. But today I wanted to get into how can beliefs help you and your family be successful. So stay with me if you're just joining, either live or later on. So first of all, we've got to understand where our beliefs are developed. Sorry about that. That was the phone call coming through. I had to delete it. So first, beliefs are extremely powerful in our development and to our success, right? As children, who are we to dispute or contest if someone says to us, you'll never succeed in life, or what's wrong with you? They can't see that that is not the absolute truth. And we learned this when I spoke about yesterday about the different stages of development. When they're younger than 7, they don't have the capacity to filter that something isn't true when they're being told something. So what happens is the children internalize their ideas and then they treat them as this is the reality. So when you're saying what's wrong with you and you're never going to succeed, they believe that's their reality. And this means that when they get older, they may try to do something, but when they try, they're going to hear that programming, that message that they're not going to succeed and that there's something wrong with them. So as our children go through their development stage, we talked about this yesterday on day 28. If you need to go back, they begin to form the beliefs of who they are, what they can do, and what they can become around their life and everything about them. So these internal programs is what we'll call them. It's constantly running and it's affecting every moment of their life. And as an adult, you probably feel this too, right? Because we were all little at one time. Even the negative beliefs can be, and these beliefs obviously has a profound effect on us as an individual, especially when we're getting in the working world and we have bills to pay and careers and dreams to fulfill and a family. I was talking to a friend and colleague today, I won't say his name, but he was talking about, I think a lot of us has this problem, like we yell at our children, right? Before it was, they say that people are physically hitting their children less, but what they've replaced it with is yelling. And children don't like it. It sends a mixed message to them when we're yelling, and also it doesn't really instill respect. It really instill fear, and then eventually the fear goes numb. It's kind of like that donkey analogy of what gets a donkey moving, a carrot or a stick. Like after so much beating, they go numb to the beating and then they don't want to go forward. So how you want to get people moving is with a carrot, right? And so when you are yelling at your children, you're setting a belief pattern in them that somehow they're not good enough. And so even if you later on, the next day or later on, you feel bad and you do all these great things for them, it doesn't change what you did. It sends a really mixed message to your children that this is somehow okay. It's really confusing. But what you did, they internalize. That somehow they aren't good enough. That's why they're being scolded. And so when these beliefs are implanted in them, it really changes a lot about who they believe, who they are. We often form beliefs at really highly emotional moments in our lives. I mean, think back about it. And sometimes it may seem like a minor issue as an adult, but to a child, it's really a major part because it was done in the imprint period, the age before 7. And some of these beliefs really work on us, do a number on us, and it works against us. So where are these beliefs stored? It's very important. The unconscious mind is where the beliefs are stored. The unconscious mind is that part of our mind which controls things like pumping of your heart, your breathing, your growth, your healing. It controls your basic body function, and it also holds your memories and your emotions. And if you go into epigenetics, it's talking about holding memories and emotion from your grandparents and great-grandparents and back, way back in generations too. That's how powerful it is. It has been calculated in science that the unconscious mind deals with up to 2,000 bits. 2 million bits of information per 1 second. 1 second, your unconscious mind is dealing with 2 million bits of information, as opposed to the conscious mind, which can only deal with 134 bits per second. So you're talking about a lot of information that the conscious mind doesn't get. So you can see the unconscious mind is a very powerful part of our mind. And so in order for it to not overload the conscious mind, what does it do with the rest of the information? Well, it has to filter it. It filters it by deleting, distorting, and then generalizing. That's why when there's a scene of an accident, they need to take an interview of everybody, because everybody has a different perception of what they saw, because their conscious mind only saw 134 bits out of that 2 million bits. So they had to delete, distort, and generalize so that it can process it. So I'm going to tell you 5 prime directives of the unconscious mind. Besides storing memories and emotion, it represses memories with unresolved negative emotion for protection. It also takes everything personally. This is where it also maintains instincts and habits. So for someone who yells, maybe their parents did, right? I know there are some culture who are very loud, and that's how they are. I know the Italian people, the Latin people, and they say, well, this is how I grew up. We're loud people. Well, that's a habit that your society, that your culture created. Is that habit successful for your family? Is it healthy? Talk to your children. See what they think. I know when I talked to my friend today, it wasn't. Their children are not happy that their parent, their mother, was yelling at them constantly for years, all the time, and they're getting numb to it. And that's how her culture speaks to each other. That's how they all speak to each other, but that doesn't mean that her children like it and that it's effective in the parent trying to get the children to do what they need to do. Right? So you have to look at your habits and beliefs and see where it's coming from, to see if it's something that is a success for you. The other things is your subconscious mind controls and maintains all perception. And the 5th one, and it's not the last one, it's a whole long list, it's responsible for all learnings, behaviors, and change. So if you want to change your behavior, if you want to change your belief, if you want to change your outcome, if you want to be more successful, you need to get into that subconscious mind and change your beliefs. The effects of beliefs. Beliefs will influence our behavior, often without us even realizing it, because it's in the subconscious mind. It's a habit. But I can tell you there's good news, because beliefs are not set in stone. They are changeable. And when you change a belief that limits you in any way, it can have a very powerful effect across every single part of your life. Your family, your health, your finance, your career, every part of it. So think about that. So I want to get into negative feelings. because it is part of that subconscious mind and part of the belief. As people go through their lives, different events will occur, right? Some of these are very emotional events in our life. And although someone may move on with their life, know that it does not necessarily mean that the event is no longer affecting them. Maybe it's something significant, a death, a divorce, a huge move. Just because life moves on doesn't mean that that event isn't affecting them. It could be a small event. I've had clients where they were 5 or 6 years old and their parents said that dress makes you look really fat. And they now are in their 50s and all their life struggling with weight problem because somehow they internalize that somehow it was a part of their body image, right? It could be something very small. If you think about a negative past event and feel emotion, that event is still impacting upon you. So when something traumatic happens, the survival instinct in your unconscious mind kicks in and it doesn't process it because it needs to keep you safe. So often someone will still have emotions locked in there around that event, even if they're not consciously aware of it. And you'll hear this often from the outside. You hear people say, oh, that doesn't really bother me, or that happened so long ago and I don't even think about it anymore. And then they're really surprised that they get triggered. They're really surprised that they feel quite emotional when they truly put their mind on it. Because just because it's not on your mind doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. So if you really want permanent lifelong change, then you start from within. It has to start from within you, looking at your habits and your beliefs and where it starts. You start with your subconscious mind. You start with what you believe. And when you start changing your beliefs, then you can help your children change their beliefs to something really powerful, really dynamic, and really life-changing. So how can I help you change your limiting belief? So what I do is I help identify the negative beliefs that don't work for you, and we change them. When a negative belief is altered, a much more powerful, empowering belief actually occurs. It naturally occurs. And then we can create a complete empowering experience in the unconscious mind, right? We talked about how that is where we want to make the change, so that the unconscious mind believes this new and better way of being is real, and it's a more desirable way of processing thoughts and actions. So that's how I can help, and it can work very quickly. I've worked with clients in a 2-day process. We basically eliminate their negative beliefs and we change it and alter it to something much more powerful that they choose to believe in. So start thinking about that. When you change your belief, then you can help everyone around you change their beliefs to something more powerful, dynamic, and life-changing. I hope this really helped you. Think about something. Think about a change. Think about a belief that may be holding you back. So if you want more information or if you want to share with me what's going on so I can help you, I offer complimentary sessions. So go ahead and email me at info@integrativeminds.com. The email address is in the notes. And please share this video if you find it informative. Tune into our weekly ParentPumpRadio.com radio show to listen to experts on parenting. And I look forward to you joining me tomorrow for my last day of 30-day challenge. Have a great day. Bye, Jerry.